From the sailors who were turned into pigs by a sorceress's cruel enchantment, to the lovely nymphs who sprouted into trees to escape unwanted pursuit, and the fatal gaze of a creature so fearsome that it could convert the beholder into stone with a mere glance. Greek mythology is brimming with shapeshifters of all kinds. The tales of transformations are as varied as they are unsettling. The gods, with their immense power and seemingly boundless capabilities, often change their own forms at will, molding their appearances to suit their whims or their trickery. They could shift from animal to human, or from human to something divine and otherworldly, with effortless ease. But for mortals, such changes were not so simple. While the hosts could manipulate their forms as they pleased, mortals had no control over such phenomena. For those unfortunate enough to experience transformation, the mutations were often cruel, terrifying, and deeply unwanted. One such unnerving and life-altering transformation befell the talented young spinner named Arachne, whose story has become one of the most well-known cautionary tales in Greek myth. Arachne was no ordinary mortal. She was the daughter of a humble tradesman, a man who spent his days submerged in the world of textiles, dyeing cloth with the deepest and most luxurious shades of purple that the market could offer. In this industrious environment, surrounded by the tools and materials of craftsmanship, Arachne grew up with a natural inclination for the art of spinning. From an early age, it became clear that she possessed an extraordinary gift. Her hands seemed to move faster than the eye could follow, flying across her loom with a speed and dexterity that left onlookers in awe. With each passing year, Arachne's skill grew until it was said that her spinning was the finest in all the land. Her threads were so delicate and so expertly woven that they seemed to flow like water, merging seamlessly into intricate and magnificent tapestries that dazzled the senses. People from neighboring villages and faraway cities alike would flock to see her work. They would crowd around her loom, marveling at the way she worked the fibers, as if they were an extension of her very being, as if the threads themselves sprang directly from her fingertips. Yet, as the praise for her work grew louder and more widespread, so too did Arachne's pride. She began to believe that her talent was unmatched, not only among mortals, but even among the gods themselves. She could often be heard boasting about her skills, her voice filled with arrogance, as she declared that her abilities surpassed those of anyone else, mortal or divine. Arachne refused to see her weaving as a gift from the gods, a talent bestowed upon her by the divine forces. No, she flaunted her talent as her own personal genius, a skill she had perfected without the help of any godly intervention. Unfortunately for Arachne, the gods were always listening. And it was Athena, the goddess of wisdom, crafts, and war, who overheard the young weaver's blasphemous claims. Athena was not only the patron of wisdom, but also the goddess of weaving, and the art of spinning and crafting fine fabrics was sacred to her. For a mortal, no matter how skilled, to claim superiority over the gods was not only an insult, but an act of hubris, a grave offense that could not go unanswered. Planning to teach the ungrateful girl a lesson, Athena descended from the heights of Olympus, disguising herself as an old woman to walk unnoticed among the mortals. In this guise, Athena sought out Arachne, intending to humble the girl before her arrogance could grow any worse. When she found her, the goddess berated Arachne in public, warning her of the dangers of her boastfulness and admonishing her for daring to claim that she was greater than the gods. "How dare you?" the disguised Athena asked. "Claim yourself greater than those who are divine. How dare you think your mortal hands could surpass the work of the gods themselves?" But Arachne, blinded by her pride, only laughed. Barely looking up from her loom, she dismissed the old woman's words with a wave of her hand. She had no time for the warnings of the elderly, no matter how wise they might claim to be. Provoked by Arachne's insolence, Athena cast off her disguise, revealing her true form. Her gray eyes shone with the brilliance of the divine, and her regal bearing left no doubt that this was indeed the goddess of wisdom and crafts herself, standing before the mortal weaver. Even faced with the imposing figure of Athena, Arachne was undeterred. If anything, the sight of the goddess only stoked her arrogance further. She refused to bow or apologize. Instead, she boldly accepted a challenge from Athena, who offered her the chance to prove her claims in a contest of skill. If Arachne truly believed herself superior, she could prove it by competing directly against the goddess of weaving. The terms were set, and soon, a great crowd gathered to witness the duel between the mortal and the divine. The contest began, and both weavers drew up their looms, preparing their materials and setting their hands to work. Athena, with the power of the gods at her disposal, conjured wisps of cloud from the heavens above, and slender threads of grass from the earth below. Her loom glittered with divine light as she wove scenes of extraordinary beauty and strength, each thread telling the story of the gods' power and majesty. Poseidon riding the waves of the ocean with his trident in hand, Zeus hurling thunderbolts from the sky, and Apollo speeding across the heavens in his golden chariot. All these images came to life in Athena's tapestry. In her splendid work, the glory of the gods was on full display, their might and influence dwarfing the lives of mortals. It was a tapestry that proclaimed the greatness of the divine, leaving no doubt about the superiority of the gods over mankind. But Arachne had no interest in flattering the egos of the gods. Her tapestry, bold and daring, told a very different story. Arachne's work depicted the gods in their most unflattering moments. Her scenes showed the gods abusing their power, squabbling amongst themselves, and meddling in the lives of mortals for their own amusement. She portrayed Zeus as a philanderer, transforming himself into various forms to seduce women, becoming a swan to pursue Leda, a bull to carry off Europa, and a shower of coke to capture Danae. Arachne didn't stop with Zeus. She went on to show the misdeeds of other gods as well, from Pluto's abduction of Persephone to Bacchus's wild pursuit of Arachne. Even though Arachne cast the gods in the most unflattering light, her work was undeniably brilliant. Her tapestry shone with dazzling skill, the colors vibrant and alive, the figures almost leaping off the fabric with their realism. Every detail was precise, every thread placed with perfection. The crowd watched in awe, unable to tear their eyes away from the spectacle. When Athena saw Arachne's completed tapestry, she could not deny that the mortal's work was extraordinary. In fact, it was better than her own. But Arachne's defiance, her audacity in portraying the gods in such a disrespectful manner, filled Athena with rage. The goddess turned on Arachne, her anger palpable. In an instant, Arachne's glee faded as she felt a strange sensation wash over her body. Her limbs began to shrink and contort, her fingers waving wildly before sticking to her sides. Black hair sprouted all over her body, and her vision blurred as her form began to change. In a matter of moments, Arachne was no longer human. She had been transformed into the first spider, doomed to spend the rest of her existence spinning webs from her belly, a single spool of thread unfurling as a reminder of her former life. Athena had left Arachne with this cruel fate as punishment for her arrogance and for daring to challenge the gods. Yet, in the shadows of giants, Arachne continued to spin, undaunted in her persistence. The story of Arachne offers a timeless lesson in the dangers of hubris and the importance of humility. Her tale shows us that talent, no matter how extraordinary, should be accompanied by respect for those who came before us and for the mysteries of life that remain beyond our understanding. By placing herself above the gods, Arachne invited a punishment that stripped her of her humanity, transforming her pride into a lifelong reminder of her defiance. It's a powerful reminder that confidence, while essential, must be tempered by reverence and gratitude, especially for gifts that seem to come naturally. Arachne's story reflects a broader truth. When we let our ego overpower our humility, we risk losing perspective and even our sense of self. In life like Arachne, we may find moments where our confidence becomes arrogance, leading us to dismiss others' advice or overlook their contributions. Let Arachne's fate remind us that even our greatest talents deserve humility. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts on the next myth you'd like to explore with us here on Wonders of Myth.